why nerves are the secret sauce of public speaking, and how to maximize their presence. Hello, I'm Malcolm Cox and welcome to Tuesday Teaching Tips episode 128. And today is the second of a four-part series on how to deal with nerves. If you haven't listened to the previous episode, number 127, I'd recommend you go back and do that, because that sets the context for all that we're talking about here in how we deal with the nervous anxiety that's associated so often with public speaking and how to turn it to our advantage. So go back and listen to that one. But today we're going to talk about an associated but slightly different phase of the public speaking process. Last week we talked about preparation. Today we're talking about that moment when you're just getting ready to speak. Someone's introduced you, you're about to walk up on stage. Perhaps in a church context, a hymn is being sung and you're up next. You feel that extra sense of anxious nervousness. What do you do about it? Well, I have some ideas and I'd love to know what you think too. So first of all, the first thing to do is breathe. Let a breath out and take a breath in. It's of course the most natural thing to do, to breathe, but sometimes we forget or we get very tense. We take very shallow breaths. Just take a deep breath or two or three, and that will enable you to relax physically, and it should help your brain to relax as well, and it will give you that sense of peace, hopefully, and calmness that you're going to get through this. Just keep breathing. So the first thing is to breathe. The second thing is to pray. And in a church context, this should be the thing we always do, is pray. Say, God, thank you for this opportunity. I'm terrified of it right now, but I still must thank you for it, because it's a privilege and an honor for all these people to spend all this time listening to me. What a lucky person I am. Thank you. And ask God to give you that strength, to place his shield around you, as David says in Psalm 3. You need that, pray for it, and trust that God will give you the peace that you need. So firstly, breathe. Secondly, pray. Thirdly, drink some room temperature water. Have a little sip. Water's the best thing, and room temperature. If it's too hot or too cold, it will do something nasty to your throat. But something at room temperature, just swallowed at that point, will help deconstrict your throat and help you as you swallow to just open up that throat a little. So take a little bit of room temperature water. That's the third thing to do at that point. And then the fourth thing is to quickly look down at your notes and review your introduction. Now, prayerfully, you won't be reading from your notes, because that doesn't tend to work very well, but that's a point for another recording. But nonetheless, if you have your notes there, which is a good idea in my opinion, then just glance down at that opening introductory paragraph and glance through it and review it, and just remind yourself of where you're going with those first few sentences. And then finally, as well as that, rehearse that first line. Perhaps you can't say it out loud, but you can rehearse it in your head. Rehearse that first line, those first few words. It will settle your nerves, or it will bring your nerves into that phrase, so that then when that phrase comes out, it's powerful, it's effective. So rehearse that first phrase. So there are some things you can do, those few moments just before you begin speaking. Firstly, breathe. Secondly, pray. Thirdly, drink some room temperature water. And fourthly, review the introduction. And then finally, rehearse that first phrase. Those should be useful for you. Let me know what works for you and what do you do in those first moments just before you get up to speak. Leave a comment wherever you see this recording. Leave it publicly so that we can learn from each other, because we learn best when we learn in community. If you know someone who might benefit from this recording, please pass it on. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I do hope that until between now and the next time, I hope you have a terrific Tuesday and a wonderful week. God bless.